Welcome. Come on in. This is the Cosmic Watch. I'm your astrologer. I'm Franklin. And in the next hour, we'll have a look at what's going on in the skies in this day in Pisces with the moon in Aquarius today. And if you noticed early this morning, you might have seen in the low in the southeastern sky Venus as the morning star shining love lights across the world. And we also welcome you to have a look at weforetell.com. That's where I do my psychic phone calls, and you can book a call with me there or the other psychics. And there's also a lot of content information that we have posted in videos that are here on YouTube and also available on Spotify, and that's the horoscopes and the compatibility videos and several different ways of looking at couples that are available in the library there, and of course our live stream, which is once a week. And if you like what you see, please hit the thumbs up button because it really does make a difference, and we thank you for your support. And what we do on the Cosmic Watch is we open up the door to our chat room, and subscribers to the channel here are able to log into the chat room, and they can ask their questions, and we do readings for them to do, and we do those in front of you to let you know how similar everybody is, how we're all looking at the same stepping stones and stumbling blocks. And in the chat room first tonight, we will say hello to Larry. Larry is first up, and Larry, any particular question that's on your mind tonight, or would you rather just drop a card for you, which is what I do, is read tarot cards. And Larry is saying that he'd like to have us pull a card, and yeah, see what I come up with. Let's see here. Uh, Larry is Larry's a good open connection because he's a believer, and there he is waiting patiently for what he has been promised is going to come into his life. And to think that he's been waiting for 3 years for this is it is not true. He's been waiting for about 30, 40 years for a reading to come true. That's how much he believes in it. And Larry, if you'll notice, what seems to have eluded you 3 different times. I mean, seem to have been just almost in your hand 3 different times, and you're sitting there looking at the 3 losses, right? And the winner is coming right behind you. See the hand coming out of the cloud. That's pretty strong right there, that things are about to change, Larry. Heather now joins us in the chat room. Heather says, good evening, and how are you this evening? I had, whoa, What a week, Heather. I I I, I made a mistake in a reading this week. I was doing a ladies' reading, and as I usually do when it's somebody new, I get their date of birth, and I add those numbers up, and as I was adding those numbers up, I made a mistake in the numbers, and as soon as I said what those numbers were saying, the person knew. We had no connection at all. And then thinking back on it later, I see in my paperwork there that I added 3 plus 1 and got 5. And that's the kind of week I had. It showed me that everybody makes mistakes. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you're concentrating, no matter there, all it takes is a thought passing through your mind at a particular time to make you blind to anything. And that includes readings. I don't know if the dog barked. What? Yeah, he's trying to blame it on the dog now, right? Heather says, I was going to say we're all human. And truly, nobody's perfect. And the if you start with that presumption, then you know that nobody else is perfect, and you can't judge them. Everybody's living their life the best they can. Literally everyone is doing the best they can with what they've been given in this lifetime. And the wonderful thing to know is that no matter what has happened to you, no matter how the world has twisted you around through circumstances beyond your control, no matter what you've suffered in previous lives or in this lifetime, there's been no damage to your spirit. Your spirit, what the only part of you that's going to transfer into the next life when you leave this cycle, when you leave that cocoon of your human body, and that's all it is. And people get so worried about their body even and how they look. Um, the great equalizer in looks is time, and time gets everybody. It's incredible what 74 years of living will do to you. so it's why do we all have imperfections? Because we need something to work on karmically in this lifetime. Heather says, I let my dad know last weekend about me becoming a foster parent. He was confused at first, thinking I was quitting my job, and he's trying to be supportive. See, Heather is in training now, getting ready to take in foster kids for the first time. And it's she of course has to explain it to her family, uh, and it's a wonderful thing to know that you're being useful, that you're being helpful, and that is really the um, the greatest thing in life is to be useful to each other, so we can all work together for the common cause and all put it together. Heather says, waiting to schedule the interview. Bunk beds are getting set up. Oh man, that 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 must be such a happy place, and it's going to get better. Heather, and as we have, as we've looked at before, and this is exactly what what came up before is your home is going to be such a happy place for the foster kids that come in there. And they are going to generate so much happiness and so much love. And what you have there is great times coming. And you are embracing this in such a wonderful way that it really does have to work out in the best way possible for everybody. Oh, and Larry, if you're still there, we moved right over you, and um, you know, and I'll be right back. I'll be back to you in just a second, Larry. Heather says, "How will this affect my own kids?" That that is such a good question, dear. That's um, will and you're seeing already from your dad that people are confused, and they are your own kids are going to, when you explain this to them, they're going to understand it entirely and realize that they are a part of that house, that it is they are part of taking these foster kids in, and it's how they, the children, treat those kids that'll be the big barometer of what you can do, right? I mean, you're not going to do anything that would upset your kids, and so their reaction is going to be very important to you, and that's what this is showing, is that this is really an important thing, and such a wonderful lesson for your kids to be able to learn at, at any age, to be able to give. It's such an important thing. We're all um, trying to get so often that we forget to give. Heather says, "How will it affect the kids?" That's what I see happening. My daughter is getting more nervous the closer it comes. Of course, yeah, the unknown. You're you're you and the children are stepping off into the unknown, knowing that the universe is going to catch you. The universe is going to supply a safety net here as you step off. And yeah, yeah. Uh, Heather's saying to Larry, sorry that it stepped in, and it's just such a bright future for everybody, Heather. Larry, when we saw you sitting under that tree, and so this payoff that you've been waiting for was trying to sneak up on you, as though it were just like the spirit of that child that comes to you so often, that runs around and is so joyous, and you know that spirit is trying to bring you good news, and it's almost like the other older guides, the older spirits, sit in judgment of you, and the younger one just adores you and wants to make you happy. That's what's going on here, is uh, the whole payoff in this is to make you happy. That's something that you that's why you're looking for this. is that final ingredient to bring you personally happy. You've spent your entire life making other people happy, doing for other people, saving for other people, and you've never put yourself up first in that line. That's 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 what we've seen so many times is that you get to the first of the line, and then you let that person with only one thing in the grocery line come up and go before you. Yes, a karmic nice guy who in the spirit world even is um, uh, is having a hard time getting what he deserves. And the thing about it is more people believe in fiction than believe in the truth, because the truth is always related to karmic time, and karmic time changes with human need. The, when an angel tells you, or when your guide tells you that your rainbow, your pot of gold is just around the corner, they can mean in just a few more lifetimes. Humans on Earth are the only people that carry watches and have calendars and mark time. You know, it's so. And this is what we find is that, and as we wait for our destiny, it's really the journey, not the destination. It's how you get there. It's knowing that you deserve it. It's knowing what you're going to do with that payoff before you get it. Then that's what brings it to you. It is, of course, the need, because as we've all found out, no matter how hard you ask, it's impossible to influence the god of the lottery. Right. If anybody ever figures that one out, they'll win time after time after time. And it's and I don't know if that works or not, but Larry, there's that that hand coming out of the cloud behind you is very significant. And I think it means that it's right here. It's, I mean, all you have to do is turn around, and there it is. And that's how it's going to be. Yeah, yeah. Remember our talk about you walking through the grocery store door and running into that certain person. It's just going to come out of the blue. It's just kind of, I guess, as soon as you give up hope, it's our destiny, our fate is so entangled in other people's destiny. It's like we're all hanging on a piano wire, right? All 7 billion of us, and we bump into each other. We get into each other. Everything comes to us on rays of sunshine, and, and of course, sun shines on everybody equally. That's how you know everybody's equal. So when we get into each other's way, sometimes we block the karma that's trying to come to somebody else. Get hit by the wrong karma. It happens all the time, and it can it can confuse people. It's very much like finding the twin or almost twin of the person that you have known in a previous life and know that you're fated to be with in this life. How many times has somebody gotten involved with the brother or sister of the person they ended up being with? Larry says, visitors at work today, but nothing at home yet tonight. at work. See, that, that's happened several times, and it seems to mark occasions for Larry that changes have taken place. Yeah, 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 and it's. Uh, I would say that's a very good sign that they came to you at work feeling free to do that, and I think it's because of that spirit that was so negative that was there, that they didn't want to come there, that they haven't been visiting you there. It's yeah. I think it's all tied into to the same thing, and going to come to a head here. We're we're in Pisces, and everything is influenced by Pisces, and Pisces is self-sacrifice. It's about doing for others, and one of the things about being born today on March the 8th of 2024 is that your date of birth adds up to 19. So you are a 1 plus 9 equals 10. And usually we go by just the first 9, plus 0. And 10 is the first double-digit number. It's the first connection. It truly is those Pisces fish swimming in opposite directions, one representing the material world here on Earth, and the other representing the spirit world, and trying to bring these together, trying to if you are born today and you are a 10, say, you're a natural healer, and the healing power comes through your hands, touching other people. They all people who are healers heal in different ways. Everybody has their own way of being able to ease other humans. That's what healing is: making people feel better, making as many people as you can feel better. And you first do no harm, and then you're in business. As we are in this healing time of the year, this particular day, see, offers, man, I can feel my spirits trying to come through my head here, come through my crown chakra, to tell you that we all come into this world with imperfections that we decide to have. Why does the blind man know? Why'd you come into this world blind? There are reasons. It is usually to be more spiritual, to not have to endure the temptations of the world, what you can't see, you can't, you don't desire. And that's the whole Buddhist idea, is that greed and desire are what you have to get away from. Stop grasping for more, because you can never get enough. It's very much like taking revenge against your enemies. the terrible thing about revenge is that it does not heal the past. The past is unchangeable. You you're just you you've taken an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth, and now you want an eye for an eye, right? Um, People get so involved in taking revenge that they're what they forget is that no amount of revenge ever satisfies the desire for revenge. There's no way to ever get enough. And so this is one of the great problems in the world is that everybody wants to get even, and we're led that way. We're groomed to be that way by our leaders. Our leaders want to lead us by our own greed, by making us think that everybody else enjoys all these material world things and how wonderful they are. And it's just a way of getting control of you and I. We're the big herd of cattle out here that people want to milk, and it's we're held in by our today's financial fences. You know, we're off in different areas, and the only way that we can be controlled really is if we are scared enough of each other that we allow ourselves to be fenced in. Yeah. So the opposite of that would be what God wants. What God wants is everyone to be together. I mean, they, God did not put Adam on this earth. Came with Adam and Eve. There's always been at least two. There's people are meant to be together. People are meant to work together for a common good. So we can have a future. The people who want to live in the past are they're greedy for the past. Back when you look back, you can always think, well, we understood everything back in those days and how wonderful it was. But you can't go back, and the only to have a better future is what we want to be able to look forward to. And it's only those who believe that the future is going to be better than the past who can really change with the times. And that's what we all have to do, is be able to be changing all the time instead of wanting to go back. I mean, we're all on a karmic path, and there's only one direction to move on the karmic path. You can't go backwards. The only way to go back is to die, to be reincarnated. Yes, you can do that. You start over as a baby, and you try to learn that lesson again and again if you haven't learned it. So those who repeat their say slogans from 20 years ago are stuck in their own past. They're having to relive it over and over again, the very same way that they did before. So they're not learning anything from the past, and this is why they're stuck. They're stuck on a particular rung of the ladder that they're climbing up. They've found a comfortable step right in the karmic path, and they don't want to go any further. They want to stick right there. But you have to keep moving on the path. You can't get stuck in a step. You have to release it. You have to let the past go in order to bring the future into your life. And letting the past go is one of the hardest things for anybody to do. It's so easy to just get stuck in that comfortable rut, where you don't really want to go any further. That this is what's what's keeping the world from moving on to what comes next. What happens now has to lead to what will happen next. And if for Larry and for Heather, what we want to do is look at what's coming next. Larry, you were up first. What is next in your life? Is that spirit? See the little spirit under the chair? That's the one that comes to you. That's the one that's going to bring you the ultimate good news. That's what's coming. Heather, let's look at your future, dear. Heather, if I ask what happens next for you, oh boy, it's about getting the funding, the education, the certification, and everything that you need, and having the see you also have under your chair there, you have a very young spirit guide who is making all of this come together. Must have put the idea into your head in the first place. And they are showing you approval of what you're doing by getting rid of all the red tape, all the stumbling blocks. Everything is just going to roll. There'll be no problems at all. It's a very good outlook for what you're about to accomplish here. So they're on your side. They really are. There's these very young spirit guides are our inner child. They can come in the face of another, but they're really us. Heather says, yeah. Jupiter. Well, most Jupiter, but also by Neptune. And Neptune can be very changeable. Neptune was the last planet to be found less than 100 years ago. Is when they discovered that Neptune was there and assigned it to the least understood of the signs, and that's Pisces. So Pisces is now traditional ruler is Jupiter, the good fortune, ever expanding good times of Jupiter, but also by Neptune. And Neptune is so far away from the sun, it takes 245 years for Neptune to circle the sun and get back to where it started from. You know where it's at right now? It's sitting in Pisces. Neptune is in the old home planet, and it's going to be there for the next year as we bring to a conclusion what has been going on for the past 12 years. Neptune is so far away from the sun It takes that long to get through a part of the sky out where Neptune is. Neptune has spent 12 years so far and one more year to go sitting in Pisces. And this is why in the past 12 years, ever since the last time 2012 that we had Year of the Dragon in Chinese, right? We're back to the Year of the Dragon 12 years later. Of course, there's 12, astrology signs. So what happened 12 years ago is about to repeat itself. And there's a lot of this is involved with the opioid crisis, because everyone with Neptune in Pisces, everyone has been very open to toxic chemicals, and that's exactly what the opioids were opening the door to. And even the COVID crisis was the whole COVID thing was a part of trying to get the world's attention and concentrated on getting together, knocking down the boundaries between the different countries. And there's only one more year to go. So this is still a work in progress. What we're seeing of people migrating around all over the world is the start of one world. It's the start of there being no boundaries. And it's, as I say, this next year, between now and next March, we're going to see all this come to a head. All of it, for what's been brewing for the last 12 years, is going to come together. And it's going to be all about being in Pisces and being inspiring other people by setting the example for them, right? And being we were talking about those who were born today being natural healers, and also those people, those tens, tend to have the most explosive tempers of anybody on the planet. Can you imagine having healing in your hands and so much anger in your heart? Wow, it must be just those two Pisces fish swimming in both directions at the same time, able to love and hate something at the very same time. It's the sort of decisions that we all face at this time of the year when we're in Pisces, and we all decide who we're going to heal, and just as important, if not more so, who we are going to allow to heal us, who we will accept healing from. Is it your sworn enemy? Is it your what do you do? Turn it down? There's what you bring into this world, the imperfections that you purposely decide to bring into this world so you can find your karma. So you can not only find out about the path that comes from that particular lifetime that you have there, but to be able to become enlightened. That's the whole point, is to be enlightened, and that means to love everyone on the planet, every spirit on the planet. That would be all the animals too. You'd have to stop eating animals. there's changes that could be made that would affect your life, that people say, well, you know, for me to stop, for me to forgive my enemies after what they have done to me would be the hardest thing on earth for me to do. Well, of course it is. Well, if you got enlightened by doing the easiest thing for one single lifetime, wouldn't we all have actually reached enlightenment, worldwide enlightenment by now? Because we all do the easiest thing. So I think it's doing the hardest thing. It's whatever is hardest for you must be your path to God, your special pathway. That must be why you're here. Well, why waste lifetime after lifetime after lifetime if it wasn't about your path to God? There's nothing else that's important enough to have you on this earth. You're learning how to be as forgiving as you can be. Nobody's perfect. You have to forgive the imperfections of the other people in order to forgive your own imperfections that you brought into this lifetime to learn from. And even if they did not bring you enlightenment, you were able to mark another life off of your bucket list of lives that you need to experience. So you've learned something, even if you made all the mistakes, even if you added the numbers up wrong and just screwed it up entirely. There's no punishment. Well, other than doing a bad job, it's to punish yourself is such a hard thing on you, right? And so many people do. So many people punish themselves. They put themselves through such rigors, and in order to do that, you have to put other people through it. You know, if you're going to do it yourself, you're also going to do it to everybody else. You're going to judge everybody else, and judging other people is just such a waste of time. And we're all on this big raft together, and we're all going to the same place, the same destination, right? Everybody's in the same boat. All the animals are with us. And to throw anybody overboard for any reason is delaying the enlightenment of all humans, delaying evolution. And this must really anger those human spirits who have reached their enlightenment and are now waiting in the spirit world for everyone to reach their enlightenment, because nobody goes to God until we all go together. Nobody can go alone. So those some of which must have been waiting forever. Say Cain and Abel, right? Just waiting around. They, eventually, even those would come back as spirit guides, maybe just to experience our emotions. The thing that is missing in the spirit world is emotion, love, hate, revenge. So think about it now. You're a spirit, and you have the ability to come into a human, be a spirit guide for them, to be their conscience, point out different omens and signs of what you want them to do. And let's say that you're just looking for emotion, that you're a spirit who's just looking for a joyride in that human, and you put them into situations that angers them. Think about that the next time you get so angry that you say something you didn't mean to say. That's a spirit guide jumping right out your voice, using your voice, of course. Your spirit guides always want you to believe in them and to do what they're asking you to do. So they come to you in your voice. That's that voice in the back of your head, that you talking to yourself. That can be any one of your spirit guides. So some spirit guides are just trying to rile you up, just to be able to ride that wave of emotion. This is the reason for so much anger to be stirred up, and anger overrules anything. It's as Cain and Abel. What was the karmic lesson that had to be learned there? Well, for Cain, it was that you can't let anger overrule your good sense. I mean, that's what it was. And for Abel, the karmic lesson was that no amount of revenge satisfies. What happened to Cain was he had to spend the next 6 generations, the next 600 years on Earth. He could not reincarnate back into another lifetime. During that 600 years, Brother Abel had to haunt him wherever he went. For 600 years? I mean, who got the short end of the deal there? But a lot was learned. A lot was learned through that fable. All of the great writers, including Moses, used fables and parables and stories. The Buddha used stories of animals. The rat was the first to get there. He was the most aggressive. We'll let him lead off the astrological table. These are all allegorical stories. Moses, the first historian, wrote the first 5 books that are used for the Torah, the Quran, and for the Bible. And what he was doing was using fables to point out the different things that were common knowledge in his time, like the creation that Moses comes up with. I mean, that was just what people at that time, what they thought had happened. So we all have our past to learn from. Now, what we have to realize is that our spirit guides can edit our memories. The further you get away from the past, the more you justify whatever you did. The more you're able to say, well, that was circumstances beyond my control. Of course I shouldn't have done that. But you can forgive yourself as time goes by. So this is why your spirit guides are always editing your memories. A little change here, a little change there, to soothe your psyche, to let you believe that you're a better person than maybe you are. Because that's the biggest thing for humans is self-belief. Now, I mean, look at what I do. If I didn't believe that I was doing the right thing, if I didn't believe I was useful here, I couldn't do it. I have to believe in myself. But before I had to do readings for myself before I can do readings for anyone else. No, it's self-belief that means so much. It's your self-image that means so much in your happiness, in the world that you're going to create. And imagine 7 billion people on the planet right now, and countless animal spirits, all being important enough to God to care whether when you got up this morning, you were a little more enlightened than you were yesterday. That's why you should care how you use this day, how you present yourself to the world, how you react to the changes that will inevitably come into your life. The rest of the world is always moving. There's only one gear. It's forward drive. Nothing in this universe ever stops or goes backwards. And that includes retrogrades of planets. That's an illusion. But the karmic lesson that is taught is that you can't believe everything that you see, even if everybody around the planet sees it, and they see it in the heavens, for God's sake. And that's the karmic lesson that is taught by retrogrades. You can't believe something just because everyone else believes it. And that's a pretty heavy lesson to have been right there in the sky since day one. It must be a lesson that we need to learn. It must be one of the basic lessons. And we are here to learn, and the way humans learn is by I dropped it. Humans make mistakes. Humans learn from their mistakes. What's the greatest greed that we can have is not stealing from each other. It's keeping knowledge from each other. If you have an epiphany, if you see the spirit world, let's hear about it. Tell people about it. Let us hear not only your epiphanies, but your mistakes, your misses, that's how we learn from each other, is by not hiding our mistakes, not sweeping our mistakes under the rug where nobody can see them and we'll never have to admit that we did this or that. It is by opening ourselves to the rest of the world that we share things, that we can share this herd instinct, this common knowledge that passes down from generation to generation, it's movable. If knowledge can move across any boundary, any state line. And that tells you that lines on maps are just that. They're just lines on maps. Everyone will eventually come together. We will all be a part of the human race. And then this is why it's so important to realize that spirit guides come to us, and that's the entire spirit world. The angels come to us in whatever form we will believe. They come to us in our own voice, so we'll believe them. They come to us in our own image. They come to us almost always in our own gender, in our own race. This is why people have been so hateful to each other throughout eternity, is because we all are given the impression that God is in our image. And anyone who's not in our image is a heathen. And I mean, this has been going on for a few years now, right? And someday we'll learn and be able to get past the guardrails that are set up for us by governments and by religions to get us to be afraid of each other and to try and work against each other, which gets us nowhere, which leaves us here going through life after life after life. And there's only one way to end that. So that's it for the Cosmic Watch tonight. Thanks for all of our participants in the show, and remember to hit the thumbs up button to show your support. And we do this once a week, and we will be back next week, same time, same channel. I'm Franklin, your astrologer, and until next time, I'll be watching the skies for you and keeping an eye out for what's going on. So you have yourself a good time, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.